work environment, leadership often plays a pivotal role in fostering a civil workplace.
Yeah.
How do you work with leaders to ensure they set the right example?
Yeah, I mean, no, leadership's absolutely right. They play a pivotal role because they set the tone for the entire organization, right? And so their
Hmm.
actions, their words, their behaviors have a ripple effect on everybody else, right? And so when you have good leaders that are modeling civility, right? And so that sends a powerful message to the rest of the organization that this is a value that's not negotiable, right? And so I'm out there urging people to make civility one of their core values and then making sure that you define what that is, right? So I do a lot of leadership trainings where I create workshops for those leaders to help them define what civility might mean for their organization and how that they can implement, right? Because you want civility to be a part of your day-to-day interactions. You know, a lot of times organizations will have core values, but they're not lived values on a day-to-day basis. And so it's not just about defining it or having a core value, but then it's teaching people how do we implement the core values throughout the entire organization. And so a lot of the trainings with leaders that I do is self-awareness. We guide leaders through doing a lot of self-reflection exercises to increase their self-awareness and then helping them recognize like how their actions, because they're leaders, they have power. That's something that the people that they manage don't have. And having that power is going to impact people around them. So really helping them understand accountability, you know, for what they say and what they do. A lot of it's emotional intelligence too, right? Like getting people to understand that as a leader, you know, how do you demonstrate more empathy, for example? Right? How do you manage conflicts constructively when they're happening on your team? And how do you navigate difficult discussions or situations? People don't get trained on that, right? A lot of leaders get promoted up because they're doing a good job, but that doesn't know they know how to lead people, right? And so working with them on developing those practices. And then again, I do my civility workshops, and part of that is also unconscious bias and helping people understand, you know, how to recognize that we all have conscious and unconscious biases. And it becomes really important to the civility conversation because if you've got hidden biases that you're not aware of, you can unintentionally negatively harm people around you, right? So a lot of civility is talking about, okay, how do we empower people so that they can start doing the work on themselves to understand what their own biases are and then how do they mitigate those?
Right.